What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. I am your host, Patrick Seatman, joining you guys on a Sunday. So first off, happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend and enjoying the NBA playoffs, because that Heat-Celtics game last night, probably one of the better NBA finishes I have seen in my lifetime. The Derek White tip-in with a tenth of a second left. I mean, I've seen all these videos of Heat fans thinking they're going to the finals, and then their reaction after when they find out the basket counted and the Celtics force a Game 7, trying to become the first team ever to come down from a 3-0 series deficit. NBA playoffs have been great. But on today's show, we're going to be talking about a Lonzo Ball injury update, because this is a report that came out from Daniel Greenberg, and he said the Chicago Bulls privately don't think that it's likely Lonzo Ball will ever play again. I'll say that one more time for the people in the back. The Chicago Bulls privately don't think it's likely that Lonzo Ball will ever play again. My heart just kind of broke a little bit. But we'll be getting into all this and more. But guys, make sure you guys are subscribed. We're closing in on 2,000 subscribers down there. It says like 1.5 right down below. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's an easy way to help us out here. It honestly makes me look really good for my bosses, because, hey, I'm just going to keep it transparent. I'm out here doing a video on my off day, just trying to chop it up, talk Bulls with you guys. It's what I love to do. So if you guys want to help me out, make me look a little better for my bosses, and turn this Bulls channel to a full-time chat sports channel, that's my dream. It's a free, easy way. Go down there, hit that subscribe button, and on your side, you guys are just going to get more Bulls news, Bulls rumors, just more Bulls content in your life. Become a more informed Bulls fan. Just hit that sub button right down there. But let's talk about it. We got to talk about the Lonzo Ball news, because I got this notification on my phone late last night, and this is during the Heat-Celtics game, and I kind of just scratched my head a little bit. I'm like, you can't be serious. I understand where we left off with the Lonzo Ball kind of injury saga was we knew he was getting that pretty intense surgery that no NBA player has ever came back from the surgery he is getting in his knee. He is trying to become the first NBA player to ever come back from it. And now you kind of get this update that the Bulls don't think he's ever going to play basketball again. So I think about this, and we'll dive into this just from the Bulls side, and then at the later end of this video, and kind of just me giving you guys my talking points about this, I'll just really talk about this from the Lonzo Ball side of things. And what, honestly, I'll give kind of my 2 cents on, if I was in Lonzo's position, kind of what I would do. But just from the Bulls side, I think this report coming out is indicating that the Bulls are going to move forward with their plans, with how they'll handle free agency, whether it's them trading up in the draft, no matter what it may be. I think they're going to handle this with the intention that Lonzo's not going to be with them, and that's how I think it should be no matter what. Even if they think Lonzo 70, 80% chance he will be able to return and be the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls, I just don't think that's how they should handle business. So I like this, that they privately, even though it is kind of negative news on the Lonzo side of it, I do like that the Bulls, that they just need to move on and kind of take their franchise in another direction where they'll assume Lonzo's not playing. Now, this is kind of where we get to the roster construction impact and how it will impact what the Bulls actually do with that guard spot. Because right now, the Bulls guard situation, Patrick Beverley, he's a free agent. Ayo DeSumo, I like him. No, I like him. I don't love him. I love the heart and the dog Ayo has. But just overall, the talent he has, we're going to have to still wait to see what he develops into. Kobe White is kind of the opposite. I love the talent he has. I just don't really like his dog in him and kind of his alpha-ness that we've seen with a guy like Ayo. And we obviously still got guys like Caruso, who, he's more of that dog defensively, and then that Javonte Green. But, the thing that was so great about Lonzo and what he offered this Bulls roster was he was a true guard that could guard 1 through 3. And he truly shot 40% from the three-point line in that 2020-2021 season where the Bulls had found themselves at top of the Eastern Conference before Lonzo Ball got hurt. So it really hurts. I mean, we've seen Lonzo's impact on winning. He's a 6'6", long guard that could pick you up 94 feet. He's a great just kind of playmaker in transition. We all know the Lonzo Ball outlet passes, very reminiscent of the Kevin Love outlet passes that we have been seeing throughout this entire NBA playoffs. But I'll ask you guys this before I kind of hop into how I kind of feel about it from the Lonzo Ball side of it. Do you think Lonzo Ball will ever play again? I'll just make this simple. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Short and sweet. Do you think Lonzo Ball will ever play again? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments section. Honestly, I mean, I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, I would hope he would play again, but honestly, all these reports, I mean, the original report I still remember was, oh, Lonzo's going to be out for a couple months. Expect him maybe to come back for that playoff run for the Chicago Bulls. And then it just kind of got pushed back. And then it got pushed back into this year. And now he missed all of this past season. Now we're already talking about him missing all next season. And now this report, he could not be playing basketball again. Just, before we wrap it up, just my athlete and my just kind of heart side of me, obviously kind of goes out to Lonzo here. Dealing with injuries and just how he was able to overcome him, and he just really hasn't seen it. He's been able to catch a break. And just, if you guys remember when Lonzo came to the league, he was one of the more talked about prospects that we've had in a while. He wasn't obviously on the Victor Wembanyama or the Zion Williamson hype train, but people thought he was going to be a legit 6'6", transcendental point guard. And the thing about Lonzo I liked was he was kind of able to overcome his shadow of his dad. His dad kind of set the lofty expectations on him. And, he got his ass, chewed up a little bit when he got in the league. I remember that first game, Patrick Beverley picking him up full court, just making his life a living hell. And then Lonzo goes to New Orleans, kind of struggles there, but he was able to kind of, get his feet wet and really work on his game. And then we saw in those first 35 games in Chicago, man, he was special. We saw that true winning player that we saw at UCLA, that we saw back at his high school days in Chino Hills. So again, it's kind of like my heart and just like my athletic side. It really does go out for a guy like Lonzo Ball, where I think he is such a special player and he contributes to winning, truly on one of the higher levels that we have seen. Truly Lonzo Ball, if you're talking about a modern day archetype of a point guard, what box does he not check? All right, you want your modern day point guard to be able to guard. Well, he's 6'6" and one of the best defenders in the league with those long arms. You want to be able to shoot the three ball well. Lonzo came into the league with this Jackie jumper where he's bringing it from this side and he's going like this and he's shooting about, I think he came out, he's shooting in the low 30s. And then the last 50 game or 35 games of the Bulls, we saw more of his shot go straight up and he was shooting 42%. That shows that that was that hard work and those hours in the offseason where there was no cameras on. It was just him, himself, his trainer, whoever it may be, truly working on his game. And we saw the dividends really pay out. And so that's kind of where my heart goes out to Lonzo Ball. But, I mean, overall, I like that the Bulls are going to be, moving forward without Lonzo Ball in their plans. But, it just sucks. Lonzo's one of my favorite just athletes in general to watch. I think he's an extremely humble kid coming up from a situation where most kids wouldn't have been as humble as he is. I mean, he was one of the most talked about recruits in NBA history. His dad with the loud mouth he has always had, and Lonzo just always handled it with, professional maturity, and, he was just really one of the more fun players to watch in the NBA. And, I really do hope we'll be able to see Lonzo play basketball again. It just even sucks that I'd ask you guys that question. Do you think Lonzo Ball will play again? I mean, I sure hope he will. But it sucks. I'm curious to see what the Bulls, how they're going to handle the whole DeMar Levine situation. Because if they really, if they really believe this, that Lonzo's not coming back, I do think it's time that the Bulls really don't have an excuse to kind of hold on to this roster. It is completely time to move on. If I was doing it, I would trade DeMar, whatever you can get from him. Hopefully you can maybe get a draft pick, maybe even give a guy like Caruso for a first-round pick. I would probably not re-sign Vucevic, create money elsewhere, get younger and more athletic at that center position, and then maybe keep Levine and see what Levine turns into. And then if the Bulls aren't having a successful year next year, maybe you move Levine at the deadline. But with the Bulls, no draft picks, kind of this older roster where they don't really have too many young pieces. Obviously, Patrick Williams, I'm still a big fan of, and I do think his game will contribute to winning at one of the highest levels. He just needs to get his opportunity. Still got guys like Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, who I'm a big fan of. I do want to see what Ayo can kind of develop into here. But overall, the story of today's video, Lonzo may not ever play basketball again. So extremely just, I'll call it like it is. It's depressing news. But anyways, thank you guys, everybody who kind of tuned in to this little Sunday podcast. Tough news on your Memorial Day weekend, but I wanted to give it to you guys anyway. So, guys, go down there, hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Follow me on Twitter, @PatSeatman. On Twitter, I'll be talking about the Bulls, whatever it is, all year round. Tough Lonzo Ball news. Bulls don't think he'll ever play again. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.